one book each that you'd suggest to read on this topic, and then also like a practical way that someone could implement change. And just we'll keep this one quick.
Yeah, I have one book, and I can't remember the exact title. There's a picture of a blue morpho butterfly on the cover, so you'll find it easily.
Google that.
It's written by Alistair McGrath, and I believe it's called Re-enchanting Nature, or The Re-enchantment of Nature. And in his talk, Nathan mentioned a paper written by Lynn White in the 1960s postulating that Christianity is the cause of our ecological crisis, which is a commonly held belief even today. Sadly, I come to that. I meet people who have that view a lot. But I would encourage you, particularly if you're a young, budding biologist or an ecologist or a restorationist, to buy this book. It's short, it's easy to read, it's beautifully written, and it will really encourage you as you are on your quest. Yeah.
I think I hesitate to recommend many books because a lot of books have bits and pieces that I wouldn't necessarily agree with. Yeah. But I think sort of in our time, maybe the classic one that would be most often pointed to is Matthew Sleeth's Serve God, Save the Planet, as sort of an introductory into just being thoughtful about the impact of our behavior on other people. And then certainly there's a whole wealth of deeper theological works around that, but I would say that was kind of an introductory one that a lot of people will have, and it'll at least spark good conversation and good thinking. I like when you talk about the practical step you can do. I was reading, well, skip that, just to say that I think there are a lot of things that if we took the biblical commands seriously would have a massive environmental impact. For example, what would our landfills look like if thou shalt not covet was lived out? What would our world look like if self-control was actually practiced? And so for me, so many of these things come back to spiritual disciplines. I mean, I'm not trying to be preachy here, but just realistic about, do I actually need that extra thing? That there's a level of, maybe the first step in living an ecologically friendly life is fasting for spiritual discipline and practicing self-control. And being mindful of what God has for you and learning to deny your body things that you don't actually need, to not do things on an impulse. Maybe that's the first step. And so I would push it back into a deeper spiritual pattern of being, and I have 12 other ones of those actually, but that's for another talk. But I think thinking about it like that, what if we actually practically lived out the things that Jesus had for us to do? What would the trajectory look like as that multiplies and manifests in my life and in my community?